Hey guys, we're going to be going back to Shenmon for another variation of Rank 1 team. This time, you guys have requested I do a Rank 1 team without Skye, so we're going to be dropping Skye. We're also going to be skipping Chow and Cressnik. Now, not using Chow or Cressnik is pretty hard on the morale gauge, but we're still going to make it work. Not using Skye is a little bit harder because Skye is the #1 DPS in Clash of Wills, but we can still do it just fine without Skye. And then this is the party we're going to take. So we're going to use Maeve as our tank because we're not using Chow. We're going to use Kaito as our DPS buffer because we don't have Skye, so we need a big damage boost. And then we're going to use some big hitters like Roberta and Esther, and then Frievia is going to come along for the ride. And then we're going to use Ling to help out with overall support. We need Ling for helping fill the morale gauge because morale is going to be one of the hardest struggles on this clear. Also, Ling is going to be pretty important for the way we're dealing with the threshold. So let's go ahead and turn on all the modifiers and get a clear in, and then I will explain the gear and all in more detail at the end of the video, and I'll post a turn chart in the comments if you want to follow along that way. Okay. So we're starting Maeve in the base form, wearing her TMR or STMR. That way she auto-covers physical. We're not using her trust passive in the shift form because we don't want to override the physical cover when we shift. So the shift form is going to use effective strategy, hunting call for the morale fill, and wild barrier. We're going to use Roberta to morale fill, dragon mitigation, and dragoon's aim to fill the morale gauge. Frievia in the base form will do field and triple preparation to fill LB gauge. Esther in the shift form, we're starting Esther in the shift form, but she is not using her TMR or STMR so that we don't activate her trust passive. She's going to double Shatterbolt and Energizing Bunny. Kaito is going to double destabilizing and use deep submersion. Ling is going to start in the base and then shift. And then we're going to do morale fill, moving dance for stats. We don't even need moving dance, but we're going to do it anyway. We're going to moving dance for morale more specifically. And we're going to dragon dancer. This is going to exactly fill Esther's LB gauge to the maximum after the end of the turn. There we go. That is kind of important for the way we're doing this. So here is our cruel phase. Now, because we didn't use an LB on turn 1, the boss doesn't have the magic buff. So therefore, the cruel phase wasn't super painful. And we've got our team geared to spread it out nicely. 1 to Roberta, 1 to Ling, 1 to Kaito, 3 to our tank. So there it is. Pretty nicely done. Okay, so turn 2 is very, very important. Now, we don't have Cressnik, and Roberta is going to be busy this turn. We gotta cure these imperils off of Maeve. So, first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna go to the base form with Esther and use her LB. This is how we're going to deal elemental damage to the boss this turn. So that hits the boss with ice damage. There we go. Now, as the second action to the base form with Ling, where we're going to AoE dispel everything, including our own party. That's gonna get rid of the imperils. Also all the debuffs, but that's okay. So clean movement, then we're going to morale fill, then we're going to celestial dance. That's going to put up a 4-stack mirage in the party and also refill some LB gauge. Okay, once that is done, to the base form with Roberta, where we're going to use her LB to buff up the party. Frievia is going to go to the shift form, where we're going to, and I didn't see what the boss did for his like Simon Says things, my bad. We're going to Magnus, Enguard, and Flick. Kaito to the base form, where we're going to Swelling, Receding, and Infuse, Aqua Infuse. And Maeve is going to do, we're going to Provoke, Cover, and Morale Fill. Okay. So, I didn't see what the Simon Says did, and this clear, we really want to hopefully obey the Simon Says when possible. The main reason, not the mana drain is whatever, but the morale penalty for not obeying Simon Says can be a little bit of a problem with this clear, so we kind of got to mostly follow along with the Simon Says, if possible. If the boss says, guard someone, well, we're probably not going to do that. We're not going to waste an entire turn. But, you know, other than that, if you can, try to follow the Simon Says. So now we're going to go to the base form with Maeve. And remember, when Maeve shifts to the base form, she is going to auto-cover physical. So we're going to strategy. We're going to cover. And the reason we're doing cover is because it also puts up mitigation. And we're going to hunting call. Esther is going to shift here. And we're going to triple Shatterbolt to fill morale gauge. Let's see. Frievia to the base form, where we're going to put up big mitigation with Riposte, and then we're going to triple preparation. Notice we're not using the ice field anymore. We don't actually want ice. That was just for turn 1. So we're finished with ice for now. So we're going to go to the shift form with our Kaito, and again we're just going to like deep and double submersion and destabilizing, etc. Let's see. To the shift form with Roberta, where we're going to morale fill. We're going to do let's do Stone Killer, and let's do Aim. The Stone Killer is for the defense and spirit buff. And we're going to go to the shift form with Ling, where we're going to morale fill. We're going to Magnus to fill LB gauge, and we're going to Refreshing Twirl to heal a little bit. Technically, we don't really need healing, but we're going to do it anyway. It's on my list, so we're going to do it. We're covering physical anyway with Maeve. Okay, use a magic attack. I don't have a good way to use a magic attack. One thing I could do a magic attack with Maeve. That isn't what I wanted to do this turn. My God, I didn't want to do that this turn. Okay, I guess Maeve is going to have to. This was not part of the plan. I'm going to leave my turn chart the way this turn was supposed to go, but whoops. Okay, well, we're going to shift. We're going to morale fill. We're going to use Gifted Swing. That's a magic attack, unfortunately. And because we're doing that, I guess we will. You're a natural. It's fine. Okay, that really wasn't part of the plan, but oh well. So Roberta on this turn is going to morale fill. We're going to aim again, and we're going to do Emissary of Demise. Esther will just triple Shatterbolt again. Let's see. Frievia on this turn is going to. Oh, nope. Stay over there. Let's see. Let's have Kaito do. So we didn't fill LB gauge enough. I mean morale gauge enough to do the good buffs. The plan was to do Deadly Stream and Natural Flux. We didn't get the morale filled enough. That's probably going to be fine. So let's just go ahead and use Kaito to just deep and submersion again. Link to the base form. Yeah, morale is really hard this clear. So we're going to Blithe. We're going to Magnus for the mitigation. And because we don't have Ferocity unlocked, we'll just do Moving Dance. And Frievia can just prep 4 times this turn. So we will quadruple and prep 4 times. Very unfortunate that we didn't fill enough morale gauge, and the stupid boss is making us do the Simon Says in the wrong order. We're kind of like adapting the clear as we go. This clear, you can't really write the actions in stone because you might have to adjust your clear as you go through the actions, because sometimes the boss does not cooperate with what you had in mind. And this clear, he is not cooperating. Yeah, Maeve is in the wrong form for covering that turn. Because we were forced to shift her and do a magic attack. I didn't want to do that turn, but okay. Yeah, we kind of needed to follow the Simon Says though. So this turn we're going to put up cover. We're going to morale fill, and it doesn't really matter what else we do. We can just hit the boss. Let's not do that quite yet though. Let's have Tidebringer Kaito go to the base form. Now we're going to get ready for bursting next turn. So we're going to Pure Liquid. We're going to Torrential. And we're going to Cascade. Let's go ahead and do that first. Let's see, Roberta is going to go to the base form, where we're going to Morale Fill. We're going to Mega Breath. And we're going to Magnus to cure Imperils. Let's see, Esther to the base form, where we're going to do the usual stuff. Ling is going to go to the... Lincoln is staying in the base form for the moment. We do need to heal. Let's go ahead and do Maeve's stuff right here. Let's see. Let's have Ling triple. Let's Blythe, Ferocity, and let's do a Refreshing Twirl. Yeah, we're a little bit behind on morale this clear. Kind of feels bad. All right, let's go ahead and do Magnus, and then we'll just like do whatever basically. With Frievia, we don't really need anything from her. So okay, this is the magic turn. We are covering with Maze. We're fine. We didn't fill morale gauge. Shenmon says nothing. That's helpful. We do have water absorb as well, so this is convenient here. Okay, now it is time to do our burst damage. Alright, so we're looking for 2.5 or better. We should be comfortably capping here. Even though we didn't get the big breaks from Kaito, we didn't get the good imperils and all that. We didn't have enough morale. I don't think it's going to matter, and this will show that even if your morale isn't super great, you'll be fine, I hope. Let's go ahead and do the base LB of Esther, the shifted LB of Kaito, the shifted LB of Frievia. Let's do the quad breath with our Roberta. And that's all that we're going to DPS with on here. So let's go ahead and do the attack and magic buff. And okay, so we're going to send Frievia, and then we're going to send Roberta a moment later, and then we're going to send the bolting strike guys. So you, wait just a moment, and then you. And that should be our 2.5 or better. There's the 100 count chain score. Okay, so as you might have noticed, we never did AoE re-raise. So we're going to use Maeve from Phoenix is going to Phoenix Guard to revive herself. Ling is going to use the Excellent Wreath we were given for free in an event previously and re-raise herself. We're only going to have 2 people re-raising this turn. So here we go. 2.8. So yeah, we still comfortably overcapped, even without Skye in the party, without Chow, without Cressnik. We didn't fill morale gauge. We didn't even use the big buffs of Kaito because we didn't unlock them in time. It was still okay. So this is where Ling is really coming in clutch here because we didn't, because the whole party's dead, basically. That's kind of a problem. So Ling is going to triple. We're going to Rejuvenating to revive the whole party, Disarming to break the boss, and Refreshing Twirl to put up... we don't really need Refreshing Twirl, completely honest here, because our tank is fine. So we're going to actually Rejuvenating, Disarming, and let's just fill morale gauge to get that morale repaired, because our morale is looking pretty painful after that death of everyone. Okay, so Maeve in the base form is going to go ahead and provoke. We're going to cover, and we're going to strategy to make us break immune. We're also going to go ahead and Discerning Will to boost accuracy just to fill the morale gauge. This is a physical turn because we pushed on turn 6. So physical damage, we are tanking with Maeve. This should be totally fine. We did break the boss. Now, we didn't hit the boss with an elemental attack that turn. As long as you only do that one turn in the entire fight, it's fine. Unfortunately, the boss did 2 single target attacks on Maeve before in the AoEs, so we didn't get the AoE cover mitigation. That was really unfortunate, but it's okay. And then my Maeve is wearing Snow Bear to help bulk up a little bit. Okay, so now we have a... this turn is the Cruel Fae turn. So we're going to shift our Maeve, and we're going to Barrier. We're going to Morale Fill, and we're going to do You're a Natural, because that gives Dragon Mitigation for the party. Wait for all these auto-castings to finish. Okay. We're going to do the Defense and Spirit buff this turn. We're also going to do the Attack and Magic. No, we're not going to do the Attack and Magic buff. We don't really need it. Okay, so Frievia in this turn is going to, in the base form, do Magnus. We're going to put up the field. We're going to Remise, and we're going to Riposte. Let's see. Esther is going to Calm, Bolting, and this. I'm thinking real quick. Hold on. Let's do this first. Because the boss has Mirage too. I forgot about that. So now we're going to do this. Kaito is going to Torrential. We're going to Magnus. And we're going to Infuse. Let's see. Where's Infusion? Aqua Infusion. Okay. Roberta on this turn is going to Shift. That way we take one of the Cruel Phase in the Shift form. We're going to Morale Fill. We're going to Magnus and Aim. And Ling is going to Triple. We're going to, let me think, did we do General Mitigation? Yeah, we did General Mitigation. We're good. Okay, so Ling is just going to Morale Fill. We'll just Blythe and double Ferocity. Okay. So this is the Cruel Fae turn. We have Guts on Esther and all, so we should be fine here. The boss says nothing. Ouch, Esther. Oof. Glad I gave you Guts. Okay, and we're still covering physical with our Maeve, by the way. That's why we're not using the Trust passive in the Shift form, so that we don't override the physical cover when we shift her. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and finish off the boss. This should be a relatively comfortable finish off. If not, we can just keep going. No real big deal. So let's go ahead and let's heal MP. Let's buff attack and magic, and let's go ahead and do a burst. So this, let's have Esther do this. The boss doesn't have Mirage anymore. Oh, we don't quite have LB on Frievia. That's okay. I kind of did her actions wrong. I should have done her actions where she filled her own LB at the end. Oh well, it's okay. So we're going to Mega and Double Mystic on you. We need to fill up Frievia, so we will just... Let's go ahead and Celestial. Let's Blythe, and let's Ferocity. Actually, just to confirm, I'm a little bit nervous that the boss really isn't out of Mirages. So we're going to Dragon's Bite, then we're going to Celestial to fill LB gauge, and then we'll just do Blythe. Okay, yeah, the boss has no Mirage. Outstanding. And here we go. Now we're good on her. So I think, yep, we're good. So we're going to click this, wait, click this. And that should finish off the boss. Okay, it did. If it didn't, this would be a magic turn. We'll just have Maeve cover magic. Not a problem at all. If we didn't finish off the boss that turn, go one extra turn. Yeah, so turn 9 is a magical damage turn. Maeve, just have her put up her magic cover and magic mitigation, and you are completely fine to go another round and finish it off on turn 10. So there is a rank 1 perfect score without Cressnik, Chow, or Skye. Here's the damage breakdown. As usual, the damage breakdown is a little bit unreliable because we're bursting across multiple turns. Esther pretty much carried that one thanks to being overpowered. Roberta did a billion. Once the magic variance comes in, Roberta will be doing a lot more. Frievia did 900. Once magic variance comes in, Frievia will actually be doing quite a bit more as well. We did use Frievia's physical burst, but once magic variance comes in, you'll instead be bursting with her magical side instead. And then Kaito did 1.3, which is, you know, really good. And there it is. I'm going to go ahead and show you the gear and all. I'm already finished farming. So let's show the gear. And yeah, what I'm trying to do is, you know, go through and do more clears for you guys over these 2 weeks that, you know, a bunch of people said, please do a clear without Skye, without Cressnik, without Chow. So I did all 3 of those in the same video. I do know that people have been saying, please do one without Roberta. I'll probably do one of those later, but, you know, not using that means we have to bring in some other power units. So if we drop Roberta, we're probably going to bring Chow back to the party. That way, morale is no longer a struggle. Anyway, so here's the team we used. So, Maeve is on Phoenix, and Phoenix has the re-raise skill learned, so Maeve can re-raise herself. Other than that, she is, I think she's full evasion. Yeah, maxed evasion, because we're not doing accuracy down in this clear. So maxed evasion, Snow Bear to keep herself nice and healthy, Future Emperor to counter with AoE mana regen, just in case we triggered some disobeys of the Simon Says. We never did, but just in case. Phoenix Energy to keep herself alive. We're not using a healer, so there we go. Shift Form is using Snow Bear for the healing. Other than that, some Spirit build. And there. Now notice the Shift Form is not using the TMR or STMR, but the base form is. That's very important. We start in the base form to cover physical on turn 1. We're not doing Mirage on turn 1 either. We're not doing accuracy down, and we're not doing Mirage. Laying in both forms is all in for the morale fill, so double Baton, double Lilies, Philosopher's Stone, Phoenix Center, just all in for the morale fill. Shift Form is using Excellent Wreath. This gives re-raise so that she can be alive on the threshold. So only Maeve and Ling survive that threshold. If you don't have the Excellent Wreath, another option is the, what's it called? Oh my god. The Ankh of Life from the Tomb Raider collaboration years and years ago. But the Excellent Wreath is much more recent, so hopefully you have that. If you don't, it's time to adjust the clear, because that won't work. You would have to get somebody to re-raise, because if you don't have the Excellent Wreath, you'd have to drop Ling and bring a healer or something. Other than that, LB Phil. Shift Form, pretty much the same thing. I gave her Phoenix Energy so she can keep herself alive in the base form. So there you go. Roberta in the base form is just pure damage. We don't need Guts in the base form, so there you go. All in for damage. I'm pretty sure she's maxed on everything. She is. Shift Form is high Spirit build, double Wedge's gun, LB Phil, Guts just in case, and there we go. So she can tank some of the. I think she tanked the magic Cruel Fae. Stormseeker Esther has Lens in the base form if you need Guts in the base form, because as you saw on turn 8, she took a really big hit to the face. It killed her, but, we Gutsed it. Other than that, LB damage versus whatever. Okay, so LB maxed. Now, Shift Form is very important. We're starting in the Shift Form with Paws of Prosperity, Dragon's Brush, and Call of the Wild. And she is not using her Trust passive in the Shift Form. And we do have 12 LB per turn. That way, I have it mapped out. We can exactly fill up her LB gauge on turn 2 with the actions I have done. It's very, very precisely calculated. And there we go. If you don't have Paws of Prosperity, it would still work. You would rely on a little bit of RNG luck from dropping a crystal. Yeah, so that's and the reason for that is so that we could Shatter Bolt on turn 1 with Energizing, and we could get a lot of morale fill. Because morale fill is pretty hard in this clear, and there it is. Kaito in the base form is just kind of whatever, some bulk, some guts just in case. There you go. Shift form is I gave him a source of guts. I don't think he took he did take one Cruel Fae, but he's got 40,000 HP, so it was fine. LB damage versus the boss. Maxed. There we go. And then Frostblade Freevia in the base form is just bulk, guts, etc. Shift form is using, Oran's card, a lot of killers, LB damage versus dragons and fairy. Maxed, only 275 fairy. And there it is. So there is the perfect score without Skye, Chow, or Cressnik. Okay. I'll be working on more over the course of the next week and a half. See you then.